Flit-Squad draft. Flit-Squad draft. Flit-Squad draft. Flit-Squad draft. Flit-Squad draft. Let's go. Coming up next on the PHLY Eagles podcast. And welcome to the PHLY Eagles podcast presented by True Mark Financial. And we are here in
regulation. Regulation. I didn't know what to say there. I'm curious. How do you come up with your cold opens?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, I'll let you introduce the show.
I mean,
first.
it takes, you usually come up with it about 10 seconds before or less.
We do it differently. Okay.
We do it differently.
Yes.
That is for sure.
Yes.
We're here. We're ready for the 43rd annual Flit-Squad draft, wherein Zach and I will split this Eagles roster down the middle. Maybe the best roster in football. Good enough for two teams, potentially. We'll find out who wins the draft. We'll do a little bit of fun. And I see Richard D. Donato in the chat because after the second ad break in this episode, we are going to reveal the winner of the Philly Sports Trips PHLY trip to Green Bay. We've got 10 finalists announced on yesterday's show. We're going to announce the winner in about 40 minutes or so. So build up some suspense, Richard. Let's see how you can hold up. I'm sure the heart is beating out of your chest. Zach, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm excited for the show. It's a Friday afternoon, and it's been a quick week. We started it at a golf course for Brian Dawkins' tournament. Fun show. Been a fun week of shows.
It's been a fun week of shows. A lot of good response, I feel, yesterday to the segment on your ranking of the presidents.
I was not ranking the presidents, number one, and I'm glad I could be.
I think that was better than Brandon Brooks. I think.
No way.
I love the Brandon Brooks episode. I think that was maybe the highlight of the PHLY.
So last May, I don't want to call it a manifesto. Okay, that would be a little much, but I wasn't thrilled with some of my performances on the shows, and I put like a list of things of reminders for my performances, and one of those is prepare for the show and don't speak on something that you're not prepared for, right? And I wasn't prepared for that, so I probably would have given.
You're a history buff.
I would have given a better answer.
Your entire life.
Sure. So I'm sorry to the Millward Fillmore family. Although he wasn't a particularly good president. He was against he was against the Civil War. So
yeah, I mean Millard Phil less as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, but I am glad it could be a subject of entertainment.
Okay, let's get down to business. What are the rules and regulations of the Flit-Squad draft? Well, we have 12 positions on both sides of the ball. Backup quarterback, Jalen Hurts is going to be on both of these teams. Otherwise, it'll just go to the team that has Jalen Hurts. So you've got a backup quarterback, running back, tight end, 2 wide receivers, 1 extra offensive skill position player, running back, tight end, or wide receiver. You've got the 5 offensive linemen in their specific positions. You've got another flex, which could be another offensive lineman. It could be another skill position player. And on both offense and defense, we get to draft a unsigned veteran free agent who is on the street. On defense, 2 edge, 2 defensive tackle, 2 linebackers, 3 corners, including a nickel, 2 safeties, another flex, and again, that free agent. I thought about whether we should have like defensive coordinator involved this year, but I feel like let's give Vic to both sides. This exercise is really more about the strength of the roster.
Yeah. The conceit of this, to use a Bo term, is...
Are you calling me conceited?
No. It's you like to say the conceit of the show. Which is a term I've adopted since then.
Congratulations.
I used to go premise. Now I go conceit.
Well, por qué no los dos?
So it shows you positions where the Eagles might have more depth than others. And this is a helpful exercise come October, November, where you can see can they withstand injuries at a certain spot. Spots where we might wait on a player, it's because the Eagles might have more injury. Or I'm sorry, they might have more depth there as opposed to spots where you really there's that big delta. If this guy goes down, they might be in trouble.
Now, would you like to hear what the results of last year's draft were? I don't think we have revisited it since last July.
So I've learned, and I don't know if last year I learned it in time, is that I'm playing against you. I'm not playing against the board. So how did that come about?
Well, unanimously, it felt like I was declared the victor. And
as
this
opposed
was
to all the other
about
games.
9
Yes,
years in a row. However,
yes.
I actually think I think time was a little bit kinder to yours than we thought at the time.
As opposed to all the other games. Yes.
Yeah, I would say so. Your roster, Zach, on offense, you had Kenny Pickett, Saquon Barkley, Dallas Goedert, A.J. Brown, Paris Campbell, John Ross. Famously, you then defended that pick by saying the man was with his son.
Yes.
I loved that. Your offensive line, though, you had a good crew of skill position players. The offensive line, though, Jordan Mailata, Trevor Keegan, Dylan McMahon, Max Sharping, Tyler Steen, and David Bakhtiari, who did not play. And you also had Will Shipley. Okay. On defense, you had Bryce Huff, Jordan Davis, Morrow. Back then, it was Ujima, Josh Sweat, Nakobe Dean, Oren Burks, Darius Slay, Avonte Maddox, James Bradbury as your safeties. But you had Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell and Nolan Smith and Calais Campbell. So your defense looks better in retrospect than it did back then, I think. Because those rookies really popped and Nolan Smith popped as well.
Yeah, I would say at the time I was confident in it as well. But I remember we did that show remote.
Did we?
Yes.
Okay. I believe you. No, we didn't.
Oh, we didn't?
No.
Oh, you watched it today?
Yeah. I had to figure out what their drafting order was. Okay. Actually, we're both wearing like sort of jean-looking shirts.
I don't think I have a jean-looking shirt.
No, it did look a little bit that way. My team, the team that won.
Otherwise known as denim.
Tanner McKee. That's true. Denim is a word. That's true. Tanner McKee, which really was what put it over the top. Kenny Gainwell, Grant Calcaterra, DeVonta Smith, Johnny Wilson, Anaya Smith. The offensive line of Mekhi Becton, Landon Dickerson, Cam Jurgens, Matt Hennessy, Lane Johnson, and Fred Johnson, which would come in handy. And I also had Michael Thomas off the street. And then my defense.
Who didn't play?
Yeah.
Okay.
Neither did Bakhtiari. So we both. No, you're right. You're right.
But we did make sure that was a clear.
No, that's true. That's true. That's fair.
Yeah.
Brandon Graham, Jalen Carter, Milton Williams, Zach Bond, Devin White, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., Keely Ringo, Sidney Brown, Reed Blankenship, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Isaiah Rodgers, Jalix Hunt, Justin Simmons.
And you had Zach Bond as an edge rusher?
I did, but given the makeup of the team, I can Jalix Hunt pop, so I can just put him there. But have Zach Bond replaces Devin White. Bingo, bango, bongo. So yeah,
Bingo,
it was closer in retrospect than it seemed at the time. But obviously, Tanner McKee puts it over the top, and
obviously, yes.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors. Now, this is to decide. It's going to go 1, and then 2, and then from there 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. That's the order of drafting. You understand?
Okay, so it does. So you don't get 2, 3. It's 1.
Yes, you get 2.
So 1.
Whoever picks first gets the first pick. The next person gets 2 and 3, and then from there it alternates.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, fair enough.
So we're going to do rock, paper, scissors, shoot to decide who gets to decide who goes first.
Okay.
Not just who goes first.
Sure.
Ready? 2 out of 3.
2 out of 3.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Scissors beats paper.
You were studying. Yes, you're studying.
No, I wasn't.
Yes, you were. Yes, you were. You knew I was going paper.
No, I was not. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Okay.
Again, scissors over paper.
Okay.
I will let you go first, Zach. I will give you the first pick. I will take 2, 3, and we will go from there.
With the first overall pick in the Flit-Squad draft.
2025.
25 Flit-Squad draft. I am going with Lane Johnson.
Lane Johnson. Okay. You learned your lesson from last year when you were left bereft on the offensive line. There you go. Good pick. Understandable. And to me, it's now very easy for me what to do. I think there's a clear top 3 in this exercise. Do you agree?
Oh, it depends who your number 2 and 3 is.
But on your board, you felt like you had a clear top 3, right?
No, I had a clear top 2.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Okay. Well, for me, it's a clear top 3. It's Lane, It's A.J. Brown and Jalen Carter. So
Okay.
I'm taking A.J. Brown and Jalen Carter. I think those are the two, the
Sure.
three elite players at really important positions. No doubt about it. I'm very happy to have A.J. Brown and Jalen Carter.
So now I am going to abandon the board. And
Wow, this early.
Well, no, for this reason here, because
I know what you're going to do.
Yeah. So I know I have one offensive tackle. I don't want to be left without a wide receiver, right? And so that's really the impetus for this is that I know I can use a free agency spot for a wide receiver, but I think if we're using this exercise here, spots where the Eagles, where there's a delta, it's offensive tackle, clearly, and I think wide receiver after those top two guys.
No doubt.
Yeah, and so I wouldn't necessarily say that DeVonta Smith is the fourth best player on the team, but for the purpose of this game, when you need two wide receivers on the field, I was afraid you were going to go AJ and DeVonta and box me out there.
Yeah.
And so that's why I didn't know when you said clear top three. I had the same top three as you in terms of Lane, AJ, Jalen Carter. But I thought you might be playing against me, have me have no skill position.
I felt like at the I wanted to be a little bit reflective of the true talent just at the very beginning. But you're right. I could have done that. I actually thought that I think these next two picks were going to be in some order, DeVonta Smith and Jordan Mailata.
Exactly.
And the question was whether you wanted to make it strength against strength and weakness against weakness, or even it out a little bit. Yeah. I think it is nice for the balance of the rosters for you to take DeVonta and I will take Jordan Mailata, and now we both have a good tackle and a good wide receiver.
Exactly. Makes sense there. Perfect.
All right, so it's back to you in that case.
So I am going to maintain the spirit of the I'm going to stay true to my board here.
Back to the board, okay.
Exceptional players. Okay. And give me Saquon Barkley. He's an exceptional player. I mean, we're talking about the offensive player of the year.
Yeah.
Last season. So
and let's just say, this is our expectations for how they're going to play this season.
Sure.
Right. It's not just reflective of last year. So I mean, if Saquon's as good as he was last year, even though he's a running back, it's not a crazy pick. I think we are expecting a little bit of a come down, but
I expect
not definitely.
Yeah, but I've learned from the first time we ever did one of these drafts where I went all offensive line and I had no skill players. You do need to put up points here. I can't expect to win 10-7, and so I have Saquon, I have DeVonta, I have two elite skill players. I feel good about that.
Okay, I think that's reasonable. Now it gets interesting. I could add a skill position player of my own. I could beef up the offensive line. I could take who I think is the second best defensive player on the board, since you don't have anybody else on defense yet. Where are the biggest drop-offs? And this is it's interesting because they are deep in the secondary, or at least a corner. Maybe you are less inclined to go there, whereas you might on a different team. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the other all-pro caliber offensive lineman. I'm going to take Landon Dickerson. I'm going to have him with Jordan Mailata, and I'm going to move on from there.
Okay. So then I am going to make sure that they have 4 Pro Bowl offensive linemen.
Yes.
I don't want you to have 3 of them. So I will go Cam Jurgens at this spot to ensure
the return of serve that you needed to make. That's the good the return volley. Okay. That's fair. Okay. I'm happy with how that worked out then, because now I get to just pick somebody else. And so what I'm going to do is, I know that you are very worried about the Eagles' depth on the edge in general.
Yes.
So I'm going to take Nolan Smith here.
Okay.
And I think I like Jalen Hunt a lot, but you're going to have Jalen Hunt and he's a question mark on his own right.
Sure.
And you're going to have another big question mark starting next to him. I'm happy with Nolan Smith there.
Okay. So look, I had an offensive player of the year last year. I'm going with the defensive player of the year candidate. I'm going with the Howie Roseman approach here, is that exceptional, you make exceptions for exceptional players. Zach Bond is a special player. We saw that last year. He's a $17 million a year linebacker. Give me ZB on ZB's team.
Nice. Okay. I think that's fair. And there's certainly a drop off at linebacker. No doubt about that. Now, the question is, which one do I take? Given the unknown nature of this roster in this game and not knowing where people are going to play.
Oh, I know where you're going here.
I am going to do the thing that is not reflective of the actual caliber of the player. I am going to take Cooper DeJean.
That's a good one.
Here, because depending on how the rest of this draft works, I could play him on the outside, I can play him at nickel, I can play him at safety. I'm gonna draft the optionality that Cooper DeJean gives me.
I love that, Bo. That was precisely what I had planned to do there. So you took my pick, and because you did that, then it amazes me that I haven't gone someone on the defensive line yet, considering I love the defensive line and edge rushers. But in these drafts, but I'm going to go Quinyon Mitchell to ensure.
I think you kind of have to
that I have a high level corner here.
I think you kind of have to. Yeah. It's working out for me if I can get you to just return serve all the time.
Sure. But I still have Lane, so
you have Lane.
Yeah.
But I got Mailata.
Yeah.
And I've got Jalen Carter. Do I? I think I do. I'm taking Jalen Hunt.
Okay. You're boxing me out.
So I'm boxing you out on the edge.
But you know what? Look, we're going to have a lot of Azeez Ojulari love this summer. Now maybe you take Azeez Ojulari at some point and box me out. But I'm intrigued by Azeez. I just read a Doug Farrar. Is it Farrar?
Farrar,
a Doug Farrar piece as him as like this player to watch, a gem and a diamond in the rough.
Okay.
And yeah,
if Doug says it,
I believe with Doug. I
believe in Doug.
I believe in Doug's point there. I am on board with Azeez this year.
So that's not who you're drafting right now.
No, it's not who I'm drafting right now. No. So where do I go here? And this,
where do you go, my ZB?
You know what? I'm going to go, if the premise of this game is about looking for deltas on the roster,
okay,
I'm going to go for a spot where there's a delta on the roster here.
Okay.
And I'm going with Dallas Goedert because I believe there is a delta at tight end. Now, my hesitance was they won without Dallas Goedert last year. I mean, they looked fine without him last year, and you could have...
We're the Bryant Bros. Come on.
Yeah. But you have AJ. By the way, I was driving down 95 yesterday from the studio. I get off at the exit by the stadium complex. And
is that safe?
What's that?
Sorry, go ahead. Thank you, Julia.
Joy is cracking up here. Your sophomoric humor. Someone actually pointed this out to me. You give the HZ thing to me, but you're the one whose mind always goes to something that's like sexual related.
But that's not horniness.
What is that?
That's just a sophomoric mind. That's not.
Yes.
Whereas you're every now and then you slip into just a thirst.
No. I say these terms, but to me it doesn't. I don't go there. It doesn't.
And I do think if you are you don't catch it all if you're just listening and not watching. Like for instance, the other day when Zach said someone was going to get stretched out, all I did was look at the camera. I didn't say anything. But
that's what you thought. That's what you. Gosh, to be in your mind. I mean, you're like a 14-year-old seeing where like everything is innuendo.
You have an unbelievable ability to just slip in obvious sexual innuendo without knowing it.
I swear that is not my intent whatsoever.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But it is. I mean, Julia, am I wrong? It's like, it's all the time.
Does your mind go there as well, Julia? Wow. Chat, weigh in, please. Yeah. Chat, please weigh in. Does your mind go there? I'm fascinated by this because someone said you should call him HB, and I was like,
Yeah, but it's different. It's entirely different.
okay. So, anyways, I went with Dallas Goedert. I don't know how we got on that track, but yeah, Dallas Goedert here.
All right. You went for Dallas Goedert there. Okay. Coming up next, we'll have the 8th round of the Flit-Squad draft. We'll do a little recap. But first, a word from our sponsors. Starting with our friends at Golden Nugget. For the past 30 years, as I have been winning Flit-Squad draft after Flit-Squad draft, the Golden Nugget Jewelers have operated out of the very same location in the heart of Philadelphia. Customers from across Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and even Baltimore and New York City have come to Golden Nugget Jewelers to find that perfect engagement ring or wedding band. Their staff is highly trained and dedicated to providing a personalized shopping experience, and they have a vast selection of engagement rings and wedding bands, along with high-end watches, fashion jewelry, and sparkling diamond necklaces, bracelets, earrings, and more. Receive a final cleaning and written appraisal with every engagement ring purchase that you make, and Golden Nugget Jewelers has been a family-owned and operated business since 1987, right there on 8th and Chestnut in downtown Philly. You, yes, you deserve an expert and the best price. Golden Nugget Jewelers, where Philly gets engaged. Visit goldennuggetjewelry.com today to learn more.
I was reading a Darius Slay story from January over the weekend, and in the headline was HOF for Hall of Fame. And I was wondering at the time, why didn't I just spell out Hall of Fame? It was obviously for the spacing there. But maybe I was thinking about the Hall of Fame, the HOF, that we will be talking about here on this show. Because we've been there where your parlays are one leg away. And then a relief pitcher gives up a walk-off bomb in the 9th. It's heartbreak. Does that sound familiar? Did that happen to you last night? Did that happen to you the other night when you were watching the Phillies game? It wasn't a walk-off bomb, but you know, a walk-off hit. The HOF app is built to fix that. Started by 2 lifelong sports fans who happen to be Ivy League grads, so you know they're smart. HOF makes parlay research smarter, faster, and data-driven. This is not your buddy's group chat full of hot takes. It's a full analytics engine. The HOF app gives you access to advanced stats, historical data, and powerful tools that help you keep your bet smarter, make your bet smarter. The app is built for everyday sports fans like you, so it's easy and intuitive to use. You'll get an idea of your parlay's chances to hit and identify weak legs so you can weed them out before you place that bet. Maybe the best part, and I want to tell you too, by the way, that our listeners can get a 7-day free trial and 50% off the first month if you just download the HOF app and use code PHLY at checkout. It has a 4.9 rating in the App Store, and that's with over 6,000 5-star reviews. So it's safe to say HOF has already helped out a bunch of people bet smarter. The best part, once you built your parlay, you can send it straight to your sportsbook with one click. No manual entry, no waste of time. The HOF app syncs automatically with major sportsbooks. For a limited time only, our listeners not only get a 7-day free trial, but they also get 50% off the first month when they use code PHLY at checkout. Just download the HOF app on iOS and Android or visit HOFbets.com, enter code PHLY, and you are all set. Can I ask you something real quick?
Yeah.
Are you data or data?
I usually say data.
Okay, me too.
But I don't really, it's not one where I feel strongly about. And I'm sure that I have slipped into data every now and then.
Now, I was listening to a show the other day, and I might have said data, but I'm more of a data guy. So I said a data-driven decision as opposed to a data-driven decision. So I don't know if there's terms when I go back and forth.
I haven't self-scouted on that one, but I think I probably every now and then have done both.
Sure. I self-scout far too often.
I know that's right.
Yes.
Okay. So here's my question. Are we under the presumption that Jalen Hurts is the quarterback for these teams, and then you're just drafting the backup, or is the backup playing?
No, Jalen Hurts is
the quarterback. You're just drafting the backup. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, it makes a difference.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
You're free to take.
I probably would have taken Tanner in the first round if it was the other way around.
You're free to go with the 10 man here.
Yeah, ironic, right? Because he's so committed to not being tan. He's
That's true.
Son safety. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which we should all be cognizant of.
Less tan, McKee. Okay.
It's actually, if you did a story on that, that'd be a good lead. Tanner McKee wants to become less tan.
That's how you win those awards, baby. That's it right there.
That was so. By the way, I was reading that Darius Slay app because I had to send it in for an award.
The Darius Slay what?
I'm sorry, the Darius Slay article that I talked about in the HOF app. I had to send that article in for an award.
Yeah.
So that's why I was reading it over the weekend.
So this is the PFWA?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Which ones did you choose? Take us through the process.
We can circle back.
No, I want to. I'm curious. What is it? It's no. Was this for the specific feature award, or this was the full
for the beat
portfolio
writing,
beat writer of the year?
For the beat writer,
okay.
the beat writer of the year,
which requires what? 2 features, breaking
news.
news.
Well,
what is it?
A breaking news, a game, game coverage, feature, and then a wild card.
Okay, so you went with Slay for the feature.
Went with Slay for the feature.
Okay,
and then
what was your breaking news?
So
did you send him a video of last year's draft?
No, I didn't do that. I wish you could do something like that in 2028, but or sorry, 2025, but it's not the Pro Football Podcasters of America. You know what? I tried to be unconventional.
Yeah.
And
it's a silly it's a silly
no,
category.
It is true, it is true, but it's
breaking news doesn't have to be the Eagles signed this guy. It can be news
that's why,
in a story.
Yeah, so I actually went with the Eagles wearing their uniform combination in Brazil.
Okay.
Oh no, I'm sorry. That's not what I did. That was explanatory. I'll tell you exactly what I did. Brandon Graham's injury. Him talking after the game, like the immediate,
Okay.
He's now. He said he was out for the season, but I went with that. The game
coverage. What'd you do?
Game coverage. I went with the divisional round game against the Rams.
Okay.
Because I really liked how I led with Saquon giving the ball to a kid, and then him
turned out to be
Greg Mitchell's son.
That's a good one. That's a good little turn.
I went with that.
Okay, and then your wild card.
I did Saquon in his hometown story.
Okay.
So we'll see how that goes. Yeah.
Now you won the game coverage one for the Josh McCown.
Right? I did get first place for that.
Is there another one that you've won?
I was second place in beat writing.
When was that?
2019, the same year. 2019 was a great year for me. Okay. I'm not quite sure I've had the same fastball since then.
But that's first of all not true. I also think the awards themselves are not exactly. It's not a meritocracy. It's not exactly reflected on the quality.
Yeah.
Nor were they
No, but I
don't know if that was your best year. Do you think that was definitely your best year?
Yeah, that was my best year.
19 was the creative heater.
19 and 22 were my best years.
Okay.
Yeah. And then 20 and 21, because we weren't in the locker room, I didn't feel those were my best years. 19 and 22, I felt I was really good both those years. I felt I was proud of 19 and 22.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways.
No, that's good. I care about this.
Thank you. It's nice of you. You're a good friend.
I hope so. Hold on. I have a text from Julia. No segment. No segment that we already did this week. That's what the news is. Okay. All right. It's over to me. Quick recap. You've got Saquon, Dallas Goedert, DeVonta Smith, Cam Jurgens, Lane Johnson, Zach Bond, Quinyon Mitchell. I've got A.J. Brown, Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson, Jalix Hunt, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, Cooper DeJean. My question is whether to play offense and box you out of a good player at a position, or to take who would truly be the next player on my board. And I'm going to go with the former. I'm going to take Reed Blankenship.
Oh, that's where I was going to go. Okay.
So I've locked up the exciting mics.
You're definitely going to win here at PHLY. We're proud of the exciting mics. They do an awesome job.
Any ties in the voting will be broken by athletes first.
We know where that's going to go. Vince will go with it. Yeah. So both the starting edge rushers are off the board. You know where I'm going to go here?
I think I do know where you're going to go here.
So this is a projection here, but man,
and we're also you're pricing an injury.
Pricing an injury. That's fair. But you know what? Maybe when we look back at this next June, we'll say, how is this guy available for my 7th pick? Is that right?
Your 8th. This is the 16th overall selection.
Yeah. Okay. My 8th pick. And I'm going with Jihaad Campbell.
Yep. That's who I was between.
Okay.
Okay. So you read that well. And now you have on paper a much better linebacking core, and you have a good corner. So certainly the offenses will be throwing away from those guys, but that's okay. All right. How do I return serve from that? I think I have to take the presumed starting offensive lineman left. So I'm going to take Tyler Steen here. And right now I can play him at guard or tackle. He will be penciled in at right guard at the moment.
That is a smart pick, a good pick to make. And so I need to address my defensive line. I'm between two guys here. Do I go with the one? And so I'm going to go with Moro Ojimo here. Moro Ojimo. And I'm expecting Moro to play more this season. And I need someone who can affect the quarterback. You have both edge rushers and Jalen Carter. Mm-hmm. He's shown more of an ability to affect the quarterback. So I'm going with Moro.
Okay. I will return that, and I will take Jordan Davis here to make sure that you don't have two starting caliber defensive tackles. I will have what is presumably the first down defensive line in its entirety for the Eagles come week 1. Jalen Hunt, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Nolan Smith.
Well done. Well done. Would you have gone Jordan Davis over Moro Ojimo?
I think because you are naked on the defensive line and you need some rush, I think you made the right decision.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to continue to lean into upside here. And there's a chance this guy's really good. There's a chance he's not.
Yeah.
But if I need help at nickel, potentially, I could potentially slide him over. I'm going to go Drew Makuba.
Interesting. Okay. I mean, you're naked at safety. It's unlikely he'll be at nickel, but that's okay. Okay. I could pound the offensive line here, but I'm not sure. I think that there's a huge difference between the next group of players, and so I'm going to take Keely Ringo.
Good, smart pick there. So again, I'm going with a spot here. If you read our friend Jimmy Kemsky, the Washington blogs are all over Jimmy Kemsky here. They feel like Jimmy Kemsky's been buttering up or inflating Jahan Dotson. Like, does this guy know football? But Jimmy Kemsky knows football. And Jimmy Kemsky saw Jahan Dotson with these one-handed catches. Okay? And
I like to be informed of a beef I had no idea about. I think I probably disagree with Jimmy about Jahan Dotson, but I'm certainly ride or die on his side against the Washington beat writers.
Yeah. So, but there's a delta at this spot too. He's the clear third receiver on the roster. I need to have 2 receivers in a flex spot. So I'm going with Jahan Dotson.
All right, you've got Jahan Dotson. All right, I'm going to then close you out from the starting caliber corners and take Adoree Jackson.
Ooh, that one hurts. I did not think you were going to do that. Okay.
So I've got Adoree Jackson, Cooper DeJean, Keely Ringo, Reed Blankenship in my secondary.
That is a very good secondary, and Professor Shulman will love that because we saw firsthand last year how valuable that secondary is. So, you know what? I'm just going to go chalk here on the offensive line. And even though this guy has not lined up at right guard, perhaps he will. He can play left guard for me. He can play both guard spots, but he's a starting guard. He's a starting caliber guard. I'm going Quinyon Green.
Okay. I'm gonna make one truly defensive pick here. because you could draft Drew Kendall as a guard if you wanted to,
Sure.
and I don't
yeah.
really want to have
Okay.
Brett Toth as my center, so I'm going to draft Drew Kendall as my starting center.
Okay. Man, Brett Toth getting some shade.
I like Brett Toth. Great guy to talk to.
Great guy to talk to. Great guy to talk to. So I don't see you going corner. You know what? I'm not even going to play against you here. I'm at a point now where I'm just going to be thinking about my roster overall. I need some edge help. So I will go. Well, actually, how many offensive linemen do you have?
4.
You have 4. Okay, so I'm actually going to round out my offensive line. So I am going to play against you here. Matt Pryor is a starting caliber offensive lineman. Or I shouldn't say starting caliber. He has starting experience in this league. So I will go with Matt Pryor because he can play guard or tackle for me.
Okay. So right now you're slotting him in at left guard or right guard?
At left guard.
Okay. Okay. Over to me. I'm going to draft my offensive free agent.
Oh, okay.
Just to get this in.
I thought we'd wait for the end for that. Okay, that's fine.
I think you can. I think
Okay, you can do it anytime.
I think so.
That's fine with me. Okay.
And I'm going to draft Amari Cooper.
That's a good one. Okay.
That's
that was
the wide receiver.
That was my top option there. Okay.
Round out my team with.
Obviously, I would rather have Amari Cooper than Jihaad Campbell. The Eagles would probably rather have Amari Cooper than Jihaad Campbell, but that's a really good pick there, for sure. So I will go with Azeez Ojulari on. Actually, you know what? No, I will go with Azeez Ojulari.
Azeez, okay. Poor Richard DiDonato is just on the edge of his seat. He's panting. He cannot believe we're like 5 minutes away.
I got this clock right in front of me. Yeah, so I know when we hit 2:40.
All right. What's a dastardly move I can make to you? I don't know that I think there's a big enough difference there, but okay. Yeah, I guess I could do that. Okay, I am going to go. No, that's not that much of a. All right, I'm taking Sidney Brown.
Solid defensible pick, for sure.
Yeah, it's okay. You're gonna have to, you're gonna be down to Makuba and either McCollum or Seen. I suppose with you it will be Seen, but Andre Sam is a possibility as well.
I feel Seen. Yeah. So where do I go?
So you don't have an. So I'll give you a second to think, and I'll reset things here. On offense, you have Saquon, Dallas Goedert, DeVonta Smith, Jahan Dotson, Matt Pryor, Cam Jurgens, Kenyon Green, and Lane Johnson. On defense, you have Moro Ojomo, Azeez Ojulari, Zach Bond, Jihaad Campbell, Quinyon Mitchell, and Drew Makuba. Some big holes, but not terrible. On offense, I have A.J. Brown, Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson, Drew Kendall, Tyler Steen, and Amari Cooper. On defense, I have Jalix Hunt, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Nolan Smith, Adoree Jackson, Reed Blankenship, Sidney Brown, Cooper DeJean, and Keely Ringo.
So I am going to round out my offensive line here. And I know these rookies are promising, but give me Kendall Lamb just because
that's who I was.
He starts. He can play left tackle. Now all 5 of my offensive linemen are like legit NFL players. Whereas I don't know now, Lamb might not be on the team, but I don't know yet on Hinton. I don't know yet on Cam Williams, and I don't love the free agency class there. So I got 5 offensive linemen that I feel comfortable with.
I'm gonna draft Jeremiah Trotter Jr.
As you should.
I don't know that I should, but
you need linebackers at some point.
Yeah. You could draft another one, so that's why I'm protecting against. But I don't I don't know that there's a huge difference. I think Jeremiah Trotter Jr. right now is better and more ready to play than Smile Mountain and Dallas Gant.
Also, unless I'm putting Bond
or
or Campbell on the edge.
Well, you have a flex spot. You could add a third
Yeah,
linebacker.
but that would just be playing defense for you. It doesn't really help me overall. Man.
No, but you know, you
Um,
want to be Machiavellian or not?
I am not Machiavellian. I try to make love, not war. Again. Once again, a very
Julia's
common,
eyes went bug-eyed before mine did.
A very common expression. Make love, not war, right? Very common expression.
But you do understand what make love means.
When you say at the end of the show, as always, I love you, are you trying to make love to them when you do that? No.
No, I'm not saying, as always, let's make love.
Okay.
Those are completely different.
So
I love you is not let's make love.
all right.
I think completely different things.
Let's have love.
Known in the language.
Let's have love for the world that we live in, is my point. I'm going with back McWilliams here. Give me a starting corner. Or a corner. He did not play
a starting corner.
He did not play much corner when he. Oh, I'm sorry. He did not play much slot in college. But if you go back to his UAB film, you'll see him play the slot some.
Oh,
this is someone who has.
Big one there.
This is someone who's matched up against Travis Hunter. Someone who's matched up against Tet McMillan. Someone who's matched up against Noel. You know, is it Noel or Noel from
Jalen Noel?
Noel from Iowa State. So, you know what? The NFL receivers won't phase him. Great name, a Fran Duffy favorite. Give me Mac McWilliams.
Okay. This is boring, but just to play defense because you could add him as your flex, I'm going to make sure that I get Darian Kennard as my right tackle.
Oh, I like Darian Kennard. Pull shark.
You don't like him that much. You took Kendall Lamb over him.
Yeah, but because I wanted starting caliber offensive linemen or legit, players who have starting experience. Someone says, what does Z? Is it okay that I'm looking at the chat? What does ZB think he's saying to his kids when he says "I love you"? That's not it at all, Dean. I was okay.
That's the one you chose to read out loud.
I saw my name up there. So I'm going Thomas Booker here. Give me just a solid defensive tackle who's on the roster last year, and now I don't love my front, but I at least got I got a rosterable player.
Okay, I will take Will Shipley
over AJ Dillon.
Definitely,
that tracks.
Yeah, one of them has doesn't have a broken neck and played football last year.
Okay.
You would have taken AJ Dillon over Will. I thought you loved Will Shipley. You're his number one cheerleader.
Yeah.
Why do you think I wore orange today?
There you go. I remember when you got that shirt.
I know that you do.
At the mall across the street in our. Now, do you recall the hotel we stayed at?
No. I remember what it looked like. I remember in the hotel, but I don't remember what hotel it was.
The AC Hotel in Aventura, Miami. Yes. There was a great place across the street.
Oh, good breakfast place.
Yeah, like a smoothie. Yeah, I'm a sucker for the acai bowl place. And so
there was something about
Pura Vida.
Like
that place was awesome. Had a smell that was really good. Had a scent. A matter of fact,
you wanted to make love to?
No, that kind of a weird comment to make, Bo. No, I asked actually the person at the front at the counter. I said, "What is this scent?"
And the hotel or the restaurant?
No, the restaurant.
Okay,
Pura Vida. And interestingly enough, they sell the scent there. And so I texted Emily, "There's this place, Pura Vida. I want to bring this scent back to our house." And then I looked at the price tag and I was like, not that much.
I was just about to say it would truly surprise me if this was something you were willing to spend your money on.
I thought it was going to be like an $8 air freshener. This was like a $40 diffuser.
Yeah,
we're not. Come on. Our house smells good as it is. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, we got to take a break, and then on the other side of this break, not only will we eventually finish this Flit-Squad draft, But right after the break, we are going to finally announce the winner of the PHLY sports trip to Green Bay for the Tush Push game. We have been talking about our friend at Art of Words, the wonderful pieces of art that he's able to put together and all kinds of little hooks for whatever your particular fandom is. There's nothing like it. A picture is worth 1,000 words, and this local Philly artist proves it. Each piece is made entirely from handwritten words, like every eagle forming the link and every Philly shaping Citizens Bank Park. But it's not just sports. He's captured Boathouse Row, Reading Terminal, the Philly skyline, the Jersey Shore, and more. These are unforgettable gifts for sports fans, grads, housewarmings, Mother's Day, Father's Day, any occasion. And they're available for dozens of teams and cities as well. He has been featured on the Today Show, ESPN, and TED Talks. You can check it out at artofwords.com. That's artofwords.com. And if you use code PHLY at checkout, you can get $15 off your next purchase.
I saw a friend of ours from Parks Casino, Bet Parks online on Monday, and I was talking to him about all the great games that they have at Bet Parks Casino online. And I've been on my app. You can play blackjack on there. I think I love about the Parks Casino is the Bet Parks app. Anywhere you go, all the games we love to play in person at Parks Casino, like pop culture, slots, roulette, cards, dice game, and more, can be found and played on the Bet Parks app. Parks Online Casino has the games you love, whether you're at home or on the go. Download the Bet Parks app, just like I did, and create an account today to receive an offer you can't pass up. New users are eligible to receive up to $1,000 back if you are down in the first 24 hours after signing up. Bet Parks Online Casino is available to Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Maryland, and Michigan residents. Terms and conditions apply. Parks Casino, this is how you win. You must be 21 and over. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Zach, do you know what we are 8 days away from?
The 14th. What are we 8 days away from? 3 days after your birthday.
No. Well, yes, but
Yeah.
that's not what I'm fishing for. Instead, I'm talking about the Liberty Open, Zach.
Oh, yes.
At Valley Brook Country Club, the second annual PHLY Liberty Golf Open presented by Xfinity on June 14th from 2 o'clock to 7 o'clock. It's a shotgun start. You can buy your foursomes now or just a solo ticket. And if you want to spend a little extra, I think it's still available. You can golf with Fran or Jamie or Handsome Rich. Make it happen at allphly.com/events to learn more and purchase an individual or foursome reservation for the tournament. I will be there trying to kick all your butts and probably not doing it. I haven't golfed once this year yet. I'm sure that I'll be rusty, but you can come and check it out. I'll still hit some bombs, no big deal. And Xfinity combines the power of internet and mobile in an all-in-one plan. Get lightning-fast speeds at home and a secure network on the go. Restrictions apply. Xfinity internet required. Actual speeds vary. Okay. Are you ready, Julia? Flash this bad boy up. We have the Wheel of Names. Now, before you hit it, let me read the 10 names one more time. One of these 10 people will get 2 tickets on the plane, hotel room to yourself for a couple nights, 2 tickets to the game, little tailgate action for the big game on Monday night in Green Bay.
Joey's excited.
It will be either Raymond Lee, Kevin Phillip, Andrew Verica, Angela Picard, Richard D. Donato, who is in the chat, Olivia Hudome, Michael Byrne, Ben Canfer, Michael Voletto, or Bobby Hamilton, Robert Hamilton.
What a pronunciation.
If it's not Richard D. Donato, I have their phone numbers here. I'm calling one of them live on air.
Are you really?
Yes.
Wow.
All right.
Man, what a wrinkle that is.
Julia, this is a one-shot deal. We got this wheel going on. It's a website where you can put things in a wheel. You click to spin. Who is it going to be? Click it. Michael Voletto.
Come on
Taking it
down.
We have a winner.
Are you calling him up?
I'm calling it. It's a 215 number.
Oh.
He's local.
Is he going to answer?
It's got one. I mean, would you answer an unknown call? I would not.
Is yours under your name? So it'll say.
I don't know. Is it?
Like when you get a call from someone that's an unknown number, it says their name if it's listed underneath the number. Correct?
I don't know.
So
Here we go. It sounds big. Oh, I probably shouldn't put it. Okay.
Just dox the guy.
Michael Voletto. This is PHLY. We are live on the PHLY Eagles podcast. If you call back during the show, you will be the winner of the tickets to go see the Eagles play the Packers thanks to PHLY Sports Trips. Make it happen, Michael. Congratulations. He's going to win it whether he calls back or not. But this way, maybe he'll call back.
And no one call Michael, please.
No, I think I got it just that. I mean, you heard the first like four numbers,
Okay.
but that's okay. We knew it was 2 and 5.
Yes.
Okay. I believe it's my pick.
That was suspenseful. You're so good on your feet like that. Did you plan all along the call, or
No.
was that was an impromptu?
That was impromptu. I saw the numbers and we got a call. Yeah.
That's incredible. Is that our first live phone call on air?
I believe so.
Wow.
I mean, all those times that Jeffrey's called you and you've silenced him just because we're in the middle of a show, you could have answered.
I would never do that. Nor is it Jeffrey calling.
I mean, maybe not every time. Okay, I have Will Shipley, AJ Brown, Amari Cooper, Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson, Drew Kendall, Tyler Steen, Darren Kennard. On defense, I've got Jalen Hunt, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Nolan Smith, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., Adoree Jackson, Reed Blankenship, Sidney Brown, Cooper DeJean, and Keely Ringo. I need a linebacker, a flex on defense, and a defensive free agent. I need a tight end, a wide receiver, and a extra offensive player. I don't think there's a huge difference between these wide receivers. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. No, that's not what I'm going to do. Nor is that what I'm going to do. I am going to go ahead and draft Grant Calcaterra.
Okay.
Listen, the Eagles.
Here it is.
Hold on. Hello. Is this Michael Voletto? Michael Voletto, you won. You're live on the air, so
congratulations,
don't
Michael.
drop any F-bombs, but we're very happy for you. Who are you going to be taking to the game? Do you know yet? Oh,
that's awesome.
I love that, Michael. That's fantastic. How old is he? 18.
First time at Lambeau, Michael? That's awesome. This is a bucket list weekend for you. I'm so happy for you and your son.
That's amazing. Now, Michael, you should know you were going to win either way, whether you called back or not. But
Michael,
are you a fan of the show, or did you just give us your details here?
That's awesome.
Love to hear that. I know exactly what Zach is going to ask you. Are you ready? This is a once in a lifetime experience for any true sicko. Zach, go ahead.
Michael, how can the show be better? Yes.
There we go.
What?
More of the show.
More of the show. We're 5 days a week.
They're gonna kill the poor guy.
6 days a week during the season. I think Vince wants to add a 7th day.
All right.
Yeah, like the Truman Show.
Yeah. All right, Michael. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Congratulations. We're excited to see you out there, and I think it's awesome that you're taking your son. That's great. Yeah. So congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Of course. All right, there he is. The king of the day, Michael Voletto. Give it up. Give it up. Michael. All right, that was fun.
That's awesome.
Whose pick is it?
My pick.
Okay.
You just went Grant Calcaterra.
Grant Calcaterra.
Yeah. So I'm going back to the defensive line, and this is gonna be at my flex. Okay.
I thought you might do this. I thought about taking this player earlier.
Yeah. And I like his versatility. When you watch Nebraska film, don't focus on number 0. Focus on number 9. Okay.
Find the old guy.
Yeah. Old's relative here. He's 24 years old, but I'm going with Ty Robinson. And I know Anthony's going to love this pick. I know Matt Rule is going to love this pick. And all our viewers in Lincoln, Nebraska are going to love this pick. And in Arizona as well. He's an Arizona native.
Okay. Go ahead and give me, since you have no, that doesn't make any sense because you've already used your flex, so you're not going to draft that player.
I have on defense.
On defense, yeah. Okay. Go ahead and give me Johnny Wilson. I've already got Amari Cooper, so I'll take the dirty work of Johnny Wilson, and happy to have him.
Okay.
Welcome to the team, Johnny. Love it.
So as I look at my roster here, I need depth at corner, and Adore's off the board. Keeley's off the board. I get it. You know what? I always do this in the show where I'm thinking out loud.
I'm doing it too. It's totally fine.
I should not do this. So I should go. I can go with offensive flex, but there is a drop off at wide receiver here. Go offensive line. You know what? I'm just gonna roll with it here, and I'm not gonna play against you. I'm just gonna round out my roster and go Josh Uche at edge rusher. Okay. So now I have Uche and Ojulari. So I have a double-digit sack producer.
Okay.
There's no innuendo there, right?
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, I guess there could be. I'm actually surprised. I would have done this sooner. I should have done this a couple rounds ago. I'm taking Tanner McKee. I think there's a massive difference between the backup quarterback and whoever you're going to take as your other backup quarterback. So very happy to have Tanner McKee.
Fair enough. So let's look at the corners here, the safeties here. You know, there's not that flex unless I want to go with the 2 running back system. I can go with the 6th offensive lineman, which could actually be a good way to go here. And you know what? That's probably what I'm going to do. So do I go with Cameron Williams? Do I go with Miles Hinton? Or do I go with Trevor Keegan is the question. Or
Brett Toth.
Or Brett Toth.
You said you love him. Prove
and
it.
You know what? This is someone, he got a Super Bowl ring. He was on the roster for a reason in the Super Bowl. I'm going to go Brett Toth. He can play multiple spots here. He can help me with any injury. Give me Brett Toth in my flex spot.
Okay. I'm going to take a player who I think you probably, if you had remembered that he was available, I think you would have drafted him. And that is not a specialist, not a defensive player. I'm talking about offense, baby. It's Avery Williams.
I knew Avery Williams was available. He was actually listed as a wide receiver on the roster that was distributed to reporters at practice the other day.
There you
go. So I need a corner and a safety here, are the 2, and a backup quarterback, and then I have free agents. I'm gonna wait till the end for my free agents. At corner, I suppose I'll go Eli Ricks. He's been on the team. There's not really.
So are you playing Mac McWilliams inside, or you're playing who are you playing inside? Or
then, yeah, good question. I actually don't know if Mac McWilliams can play on the inside. So I guess I'll go Perry Nickerson. He was the Perry Nickerson will play the slot for me.
I mean, Vic's going to be happy about that, so that's good. We got another minute for that, right? Oh, let's do it now. Okay. We have a couple super chats to get to. We're going to close out this draft. We'll read it all over and let you guys decide who's going to win. But before we do all of that, we got to tell you where we're going, and that is
overtime.
Okay. I could take my defensive free agent, but I don't view a huge difference between that group. Plus, you're probably going to need to draft. Well, I don't know. You have real needs up front and in the secondary on your defense. That's not ideal for you. I'm going to go ahead and take. Well, no, let me take something that you can't take. You need an offensive flex, and not the running back / tight end / receiver. You have a spot for. That's the only thing that you can take that we can both take. So I will go ahead and. Do I want Aniyah Smith? Do I want Kylan Granson? Do I want E.J. Jenkins? Terrace Marshall? Danny Gray? Or do I make the ultimate alpha power move and make sure that the Bryant bros are going to be split up forever? And I'm going to lean into the August competence of Harrison Bryant. I could do that. Yeah, why not? I'll take Harrison Bryant.
Okay. So I have the skill player flex, the QB.
I think at this point now you can just fill out your roster.
So then I will fill out my.
Are you taking Kyle McCord or Dorian Thompson-Robinson?
Kyle McCord.
Okay. Who are you taking as your
skill player flex?
Yes.
AJ Dillon, come on down.
Who are you taking as your offensive free agent?
My offensive free agent, Nick Sirianni, is going to pick my team here. This is a Nick Sirianni favorite. Keenan Allen, come on down.
Okay. Who are you taking as your safety? Lewis Cine?
I feel seen. You know what? I probably have to go Tristan McCollum just for the sake of this. Tristan has played for Fangio. Fangio mentioned him. My proclivity might be to go with Cine, but not. That's the case.
Okay. And then your defensive free agent, are you gonna find a safety or a defensive lineman?
Yeah, so I know the chat's probably saying I should go with Justin Simmons here, but I am not going with Justin Simmons here. I'm going somewhere else.
You're going with the guy who you once recommended to a high-ranking front office source?
Oh, same position, but not him. Okay, I'm going with someone who has been a Super Bowl MVP before, has played in this scheme before. I'm going with Von Miller. As my defensive free agent.
Okay.
You were not thinking Vaughn, were you?
I'm not impressed.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead, and so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take both Smile Mondon at linebacker and Nakobe Dean as my flex. Okay. So that way, if he comes back the second half of the season, I will get him. And my defensive free agent, do I go Justin Simmons or Julian Blackmon? Do I go Rasul Douglas? Get another corner on the outside, or do I take or Asante Samuel Jr., or do I take Jadeveon Clowney or Zadarius Smith? I'll add to the edge rush. I feel okay about the safeties are not perfect, but I don't know that 33-year-old Justin Simmons is going to move the needle for me too much. So I will add Zadarius Smith to my roster. So good. I think this was a good performance.
Sure.
I will read it off. In second place,
Zach
Berman's roster. Kyle McCord. Well, I'm going to do your offense against my defense and my offense against your defense. So on one side of the ball, you've got Jalen Hurts at quarterback, backed up by Kyle McCord, with Saquon Barkley, Dallas Goedert, DeVonta Smith, Jahan Dotson, A.J. Dillon, and Keenan Allen on offense as the weapons. Playing behind an offensive line of Kendall Lamb, Matt Pryor, Cam Jurgens, Kenyon Green, and Lane Johnson, with Brett Toth coming in off the bench. Can that team move the ball against a stacked defense with Jalix Hunt, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Nolan Smith, and Zadarius Smith, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., Smile Mondon, and Nakobe Dean at linebacker, and a very nice secondary of Cooper DeJean, Keely Ringo, Adoree Jackson, Reed Blankenship, and Sidney Brown. I think they played to a stalemate. On the other side of the ball, boy, is this team going to run right through the Swiss cheese defensive line on the other side. You've got Tanner McKee, Will Shipley, Grant Calcaterra, A.J. Brown, Johnny Wilson, Avery Williams, Amari Cooper, and Harrison Bryant, and an offensive line of Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson, Drew Kendall, Tyler Steen, and Darian Kennard, who has never in his entire NFL career not won the Super Bowl.
As accurate.
going up against Josh Uche, Moro Ojomo, Thomas Booker, Azeez Ojolari. I mean, that is a Wolf City. Zach Bond, Jihaad Campbell, Quinyon Mitchell, Drew Makuba, Tristan McCollum, Perry Nickerson, Mac McWilliams, Ty Robinson, and Von Miller. I mean, I think it's pretty clear.
You mean pretty clear the team that has the offensive MVP, or I'm sorry, the offensive player of the year last year, defensive player of the year candidate, has a Super Bowl MVP on the roster.
I mean, has Super Bowl MVP. This is like the Julio Jones relitigation.
Has perhaps the best player in Eagles history on the team.
Yeah, you did okay.
Yeah. I have a double-digit sack producer. How many double-digit sack guys do you have, out of curiosity?
Zach, I think I actually, truthfully, the difference in this game, I believe, is the quality of the defensive lines.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, Jalen Carter was a good pick. I agree.
Yeah, I think you know they're.
You
both,
benefited from scouting
there.
rock paper scissors shoot. I give you credit there.
Of all the things for you to accuse me of, this I will not.
I saw you watching film before. You were actually watching. You knew I go paper first.
No, I didn't.
Yeah. I still read the newspaper every day, so I'm a paper guy.
So you only ever throw paper?
If you study
what
the
happened
film,
to the self-scouting? Why don't you?
Well, that's the thing.
Vary
Now
up
that
a
I've
bit?
seen you, yeah. So it's one of those things, but you know that I know that I know you know. So yeah. So I
promise you that was nowhere from my mind.
Yeah. So
that was not on my mind.
Yeah. So I thought that you thought I was gonna change from paper, to rock, and yeah. So
it seems in the chat almost unanimously that I cleaned this one up. So
I think that's actually not what I see
right.
at all.
Yeah, that's what I see.
Joey, look here. Team Zach, Team ZB. ZB clears. Once again, it's
yeah.
You can't just declare yourself a winner of an election, right? There's a process here.
It's all Bo, Team Bo. Bo wins in a landslide, not even close. Bo. I see Team Bo. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the super chats. B-Dub. Hey, Bo, can you ask your co-host Ben Shapiro who he's rooting for, Elon Musk or Trump? LOL, I don't know. Ben Shapiro would cover the Eagles. I didn't know.
I don't get it.
How dare you? He's saying that you look like Ben Shapiro, which...
Do I? I mean, he said...
No, you both have
dark
black hair.
Yeah. I'm rooting for news coverage. That's what I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for people to watch and read the news.
You're rooting for stock prices, I think, on this one.
Well, for the entire economy, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I want the market to go up. It's good.
Vince, we got to give the people what they want. 7 days a week it is.
Yes. And a divorce while we're at it.
Yeah, but Zach, listen, we shouldn't joke about it. That's very serious, but it would mean you could write a book next offseason.
Oh, if I'm not married,
yeah.
That is actually true. Yes, that is true. No one would be telling me not to.
And Richard D. Donato, who made it to the final 10, says, love this community, and the only thing I could ask for is more. You all are great, and congrats to Michael. See you at the next event.
That's very nice.
I remember Richard. Richard's my Coatesville man.
Ah, yes. You're family from Coatesville.
Yeah,
I remember.
Absolutely.
When you think of Coatesville outside of your family, what do you think of?
Richard Hamilton.
There you go. Coatesville kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my grandfather grew up in Coatesville, and my aunt lived there for a very long time. Always go there for Thanksgiving.
Very
there
cool.
You go. There's a little when you drive up Columbus Boulevard, past the casino. There's a fire truck that's just like decommissioned in a parking lot that is a Coatesville fire truck.
Nice.
Every time I drive past, think of that.
Nice.
That's
awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, I see more. Yeah, it's coming in more and more.
Yeah, it's not.
Everybody
actually,
says Bo won.
Yeah.
Zach's got the worst defensive line that's ever been fielded in the NFL. I mean,
it's like saying
his only 2 edge rushers. All 3 of his edge rushers are going to play a combined 2 games this year.
This is like saying you've never seen a bigger crowd.
Yes.
Yes.
Not even close. This is wild. I agree with the chat. This was a blowout. Okay. I guess that's all we got. Good stuff. Fun week.
This was a fun week.
Eagles podcast. Next week's going to be a good week as well. We've got the mini camp, the mandatory mini camp. So all these interlopers who have been in and out of OTAs. They got to be there on Tuesday, and we look forward to covering that and giving you everything you need to know on that front. For all of us here at PHLY, for Julia, Zach, and Fran in the chat, congratulations to Michael, and we will talk to you on Monday at 2 o'clock. As always, we would love to make love to all of you.
We all silly like the mayor.